Hey, folks. It's your old pal keeping it country. How y'all doing? Episode 2. We're doing last week's new releases. So let's just dive right on in. Haley Mae McCann, Haley Mae Campbell, pardon me, and Julia Cole, 20 something. Pretty much kind of self explanatory, don't you think? About being 20 something, the mistakes that we make, and living with those mistakes and learning. Um, that's how we learn from making mistakes and figuring out maybe I don't want to do that again. So, our second one, this guy, man, if you ever get a chance to watch him and his wife on their live streams, um, they do a lot of it off of her streaming on TikTok. Um, Shy Jones, um, Caleb Austin, Wild One, man. Uh, it's meeting that person who's that. I don't want to say perfect because there's nothing ever perfect, but that balance between a little bit of devil and a little bit of angel. And we all have that person who is that person for us, you know, however we wish it to be. So that's that's pretty daggum awesome. I'm just saying. So uh, that's Wild One with Caleb Austin. You need to go listen to his music. He's got a lot of good ones. He's got actually one that's a song out that's called Cheyenne. It's for his wife. And you can just tell those two are like that. It's pretty awesome, you guys. Our next one, Mr. Cole Swindell, Broken. This one is meeting that person and showing them how a loving relationship is supposed to be. You know, we all have an ideal in our head what that relationship is supposed to be and what it's not supposed to be. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Um, it is what it is. That's what makes us all human beings. We're all different. We all look for different things in different people. Um, but there's, and I'll include myself in this. Um, there's a bunch of us out there that they're looking for that kind of a thing. We're looking for our person, or we're looking for that person who reciprocates and shows us that all those little things do count. I mean, we're all pretty decent on the big things, but it's those little things, giving them a kiss before you leave the house, giving them a kiss when you enter the house, telling them when you love them before you get to leave, um, telling them you love them when you see them, just telling them in general every day how much they mean to you. Yeah, it's it's a pretty good one. I'm just saying. Of course, I wouldn't expect anything else from Cole. Then we come to my friend. I've been following this young lady, and please don't take offense, artist, and all, if I call you young man or young lady. You gotta understand, I'm 63 years old, so pretty much all y'all are young to me, unless your name happens to be George Strait. um, Miss Sarah Darling, No Rain. This one here is putting out there what you want in a relationship. You know, we all, there again, it kind of goes back to the other songs. Um, we all have our perception of what we want in a relationship and what a relationship should be, and no two people are the same. So it is what it is, but it's pretty daggum awesome. I'm just saying. So it's it is what it is, but you know, you have to, everybody has to know that any relationship worth having, it takes work. It does. Simple as that. Then a young lady that I had the honor and privilege of meeting way back when, and found some obvious things that not a lot of people knew about her then, but a lot of them know now. And got a chance to interview her and do some things and actually see her perform live in concert. Miss Bailey James. What an awesome young lady this is. She can, she is that Taylor Swift type that can slide into country, slide into pop, slide into rock and roll, slide into blues effortlessly, I might add. Very well rounded artist. And the name of her song is Change Your Number. It's it's meeting that person, meeting your person, and you just can't seem to get enough of them. You're texting them constantly. You're calling them constantly. You want to know, and to some extent, yeah, does it get annoying? Yeah, you know, that all tapers down after a while. It does, really, honestly. But in the beginning, that's what we all call, and it's the beginning of anything, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a relationship. We call it the honeymoon phase. I mean, you just can't get enough of one another, and that is that's what it's about. That person who does everything, and you just cannot get enough of them. It's simple as that. This one brings one back to. I did it because he released it last week, and I had been so anticipating it. But since I'm doing last week's new releases on Fridays, so next week will be what was released today and this weekend. But because it's so heart wrenching, and you can feel the pain in there, you can feel what it's about. You can just feel the song. That'd be Mr. Warren Ziders with Pretty Little Poison. And all you got to do is listen to the song. It's that heart wrenching song that you would think it would be about that one person that you have. And it's probably not good for you, but you just can't get enough of it and you can't let go. A lot of us have been there, done that, did it. You can just hear the emotions in this song. I highly recommend you. Warren Ziders, Pretty Little Poison. Brings us down to a couple of young men. Um, they were on The Voice season 2, season 3, something like that, way back then when for on Team Blake, the Swan Brothers. Wow, what can I say? Um, the boys they're plugging away at it. They're doing whatever they got to do to keeping their name out there. They're they're continuing to do what needs to be done. Um, the name of their song is "If the Whiskey Could Talk," and this one for me, and maybe it's not for you, but if you listen to the song, for me, it's almost a throwback to the '90s type country of the hangover and relationship songs, and it's so daggum awesome that it's if you're into you know the older country, but with a new upbeat, up to date vibe and feel that you can relate to, I definitely suggest you go listen to it. And that brings us to Miss Jillian Steele, "Kicking Up the Dust." Just when you think things are settling down and the person shows up out of the blue and reignites those. Oh, and there again, this is a relationship song. It's you've had a past relationship. I think Priscilla Blaylock has a song similar to it. You know, why did you have to walk into that bar? I was just getting over you and all that. Same premise here. It's you're you're right at that point that I mean you're really getting good with the way things are, and you're moving forward your life, and then for whatever reason that person re-enters your life, at an inopportune moment, or maybe an opportune moment, who knows. you know who am I to say? Sometimes things are meant to be, and I'm a firm believer all things happen for a reason. So there's another good song about all that with this one, "Kicking Up the Dust" by Miss Jillian Steele. Then we come down to Miss Erin Kinsey. I'm sorry. Sorry, Erin. "Always Never." Um, this one's kind of this one would be relatable to a lot of you. And when I say younger, I want to say 25 and under. I mean, I get that, we're all still young. I mean, I'd usually always say, yeah, I'm 63 years young, not 63 years old. But, it's our perception of what it is. And that's kind of what this one is. Um, this one here is being young and the perception of love and the things that are said, or the things that we're saying and the way we say them, and the difference of what they really mean, and the consequences of those actions. And what I mean by that is when we're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I mean, our emotions are at such a high level, and we're on edge with that, all of it, all the time. How can we not be? I mean, the hormones are raging, both men and women. And we think that, we're going, and don't take me wrong, sometimes you do. I mean, there's a lot of high school sweethearts out there who are the epitome of what relationships are supposed to be about. Um, but sometimes for some of us, we have to go through life and go through a few bad things till we find that right cookie in the jar for whether it be a male or a female. I'm just saying. This isn't from a male's perspective. This isn't from a female's perspective. This is from both sides. If you're a girl, I mean, sometimes you find um, your high school sweetheart, or maybe your childhood sweetheart. Then other times, maybe it's your college. Other times, maybe it's somebody that you met later on in life, after college, or during work, or out on a girls' or a boys' night, um, or even later than that, after maybe a few relationships that didn't end up the way that you wanted, but you eventually find that person. But this one kind of deals with, you got to deal with the consequences of some of the things you say and how you say them and the way that you say them. And that's pretty poignant in my point of view. I mean, there's consequences to everything we do. I mean, what's the old saying? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So that's what I have to say about that. Then it comes down to another artist that I had the pleasure of meeting um, down in South Florida. Um, her name's Jess Lee. Very well, she's very beautiful, yes, but personable. Um, and anybody that's been in this business, and even you artists know that sometimes you run into those people that you can tell that they could really care less about giving you the time of day, but they know it's a business, or those who really care that you took your time out to meet them and that you wanted to you know have a conversation with them, or help them out, try to get their music out there, however it be. So um Miss Jess Lee's song is Unmeet You. um I think it's that's this one's pretty much says it in the title. um you meet that person, and I don't care who you are, you cannot share time with people and then just shut those flow and flood of emotions off. It doesn't work that way with real human beings. Narcissists, maybe. I don't know. I I don't do the narcissistic thing. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so and I'm not afraid to admit it, and I'm not afraid to tell somebody, "Hey, I love you." Um, howsoever, with that being said, I don't use that word very often because to me, I mean, that word is kind of like, I guess if you want to call me old school, call me old school, but it's like wedding vows and morals and integrity. I take that very serious, and you know, I see the world becoming desensitized by the you know, I love you, um, dropping the f bomb. I hate to even bring it up. Violence, the shootings. I mean, we've desensitized ourselves to to where it's like, well, it's not affecting me, so I'm okay with that. We shouldn't be that way. It's not okay. But this one here, pretty much is, you know, unmeet you as, that relationship that you shared time together, and you know, whatever reasons it didn't work out, and and you just at some point go, man, I wish I wish I could go back in time and just unmeet them and bypass this whole heartache thing. But with that being said, think about it. I remember how I said in the beginning, and with one of the songs that I said, it's how we learn by making mistakes. There again, this is learning. Heartache is part of the process, and it doesn't make it any easier, and doesn't make it any more right. I'm just saying, but it does teach us certain values and certain things that we want in life that we normally would not have, you know, did or done. So the next one is going to be Tim and the Glory Boys with High Valley. And the name of this song is Take Me Back Road. Um, kind of, this is a kind of take me back home type of song. It kind of like we wish, sometimes we could go home and things would be the way that they used to be. But, we take a few back roads in life in general. And, once we arrive to our destination, we find out that even though that we may be back home, it's just not the way it was or the way we remember it to be. And it never will be. Um, One of my favorite sayings is you will never be as young as you are right now. If you think about that, they're right. Time stops for no one, unfortunately. Don't we all wish? So, um, last but definitely not least, here again, this is another voice person, um, and another Blake Shelton person, um, Miss Danielle Bradbury, A Special Place. So, with this one, knowing knowing a person and certain places, um, I'm trying to word this delicately because in case there's any young folks around, I don't want to use terminology that may be offensive. So that's just not me. I try to think about other people, not about me. Um, okay, I'm just gonna. There's certain people that we feel need to go to certain places where they may need ice water, and it's way down south, if you get my meaning. And that's kind of what I get from this song and everything that's into that. Um, she has got so many good songs, and it's. I'm glad to see her coming back out and doing some things. I know she's actually there's a bunch of them that uh, Grace Vanderwall, um, Dan Danielle. Uh, oh, there was one from AGT, the girl that Britney Spears had. Uh, she did a version of Adele's "Rolling in the Deep" and just blew everybody away. Um, the young man off The Voice. I mean, there's a plethora about out there. And my point with all this is with you artists, there there is no want for talent in Nashville or in country music. So when you do something, you need to do it with your take on it that makes you stand out and above everybody else. Whether it's a niche you have, whether it's a certain way you dress. And I'm not saying that you need to dress provocatively or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, it could be as something as simple as a cowboy hat or fringe on long sleeves jackets or on the pants or whatever. Um, image goes into a lot of this, and what I will say with that is if you as an artist are going to portray yourself as a certain image and dress in a certain way or look a certain way, um, just remember that's who your fans started following. That's who your fans started listening to. So if you're going to change all of that up, um, you got to kind of remember to ease your fans into that. And what I mean by that is a lot of you out there are very caring and really care about your fans and interact with them and all that. And some of y'all out there, it's just a means to an end for you guys. And that's not the way it should be. It should always be about the music and your fans. Because without your fans, there's going to be nobody to listen to you. Without nobody listening to you, there's nobody going to buy what product you have to offer. So I've rambled on for long enough. So this is your old pal, keeping it country, Kick. And we'll talk at you again next week and see what you all have to say. Remember to subscribe, make comments. Haters, welcome. Trolls, help, welcome. Fans, welcome. I don't care who you are. Because I believe everybody has a right to voice their own opinion. Right, wrong, or indifferent. So, from the First Cut Studios, this is your old pal Kick. Remember to be kind to one another. Remember to love one another. And until next time, peace out.